This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com. They announced Reigns versus Wyatt for Battleground, which is kind of cool here because we saw the build up for this match earlier in the show. So I'm liking that they do this. And then we see a Kane promo where he's saying to Seth Rollins, he couldn't wait for him to lose. Stephanie McMahon tells Rollins that they've got a lot invested in him, and if he loses, they'll have nobody to blame but him. And Triple H gives Rollins the big motivational speech like a college coach, which pretty much guaranteed he was winning, since Triple H is not wasting that speech on a guy who is going to lose. That all according to Dave Meltzer. Of course, here it is. It's the big ladder match with Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. They get a ton of time, over 35 minutes. Seth Rollins retains. It is a big moment. It gets 4 stars. Meltzer called it an excellent match. What'd you think?
Yeah, he was right. He's dead on. They killed it. Off the charts as far as the creativity and the selling and just the difference in styles, but blending them together, and each guy now they did what you should do is they took every one of their offensive moves, not the opponents, and they put them in places where they went, and they were true false finishes. And there's a big difference of me recognizing one of Seth's moves and him hitting that move out of nowhere, and me going, that's got to be it. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. 1, 2 out. Versus Seth hitting one of Dean's moves and me going, well, wait a minute. And while I'm going through that thought process, isn't that Dean's move? By the time it happens, you've already had the landing, the cover, the kick out, and most people are still sitting there. What did I just see? These guys are featuring all their own stuff and their conflicting styles, and it was just, the intensity was just incredible. And it's one of those that I can always learn from. If I watched it 10 times in a row, I would learn something new each time I watched it. These guys are just that good. And it was a treat for the audience. It was a treat for the business. And every guy out there that aspires, to be the best worker in the business, which everybody should aspire to be if they have that capability, watch this match and just watch the story that's told.
We should mention Ambrose and Rollins are at the top of the ladder fighting for the belt. They both pull it down at the same time and fall to the floor with it, but Rollins winds up with the possession of the belt first. It's almost like a couple of guys looking for a loose fumble in football. Rollins is the winner. I thought it was a home run. The readers of the Wrestling Observer agreed. When it came to the best match poll, they voted in a runaway that it was Cena Owens, but the only other match that got any votes was Rollins Ambrose. So our main event gets 4 stars. That Cena match does even better at 4.5. Of course, we're coming off the Elimination Chamber, which we've covered in the archives. You can check that over at adfreeshows.com. Ryback would win the Intercontinental title there over Dolph Ziggler, and Dean Ambrose would beat WWE champion Seth Rollins by DQ in the main event. And that sets up a rematch at Money in the Bank and a ladder match here. Of course, this is a battle of 2 former Shield members. And back when they were together, of course, Roman Reigns rounded out the group. If you would have been a betting man when the Shield first debuted, who would you have bet would be the biggest breakout star of the trio?
God, probably like everyone else, the first glance at the trio, the very first time I saw him, you go, it's kind of hard to not look at Roman Reigns and go, damn, what a look.
Right.
And then you saw him move and you went, what an athlete. And the fact that they had him positioned as the killer, he would get plugged in and shut everything down. So everything was in place. But then you would I would start to look at the other two, at Ambrose and what he brought to the table. My nickname for him to this day is Crazy Man, because you never knew what that guy was going to do. And I'm sure his opponent never knew, and he never knew. It's what made it so unique. He was such a diversified, all over the place type worker. And I mean that in a positive sense. He would just go out and just keep coming and just keep doing things. And, the guys that could keep up with him ended up having a hell of a match, whether it was in 6-man form or singles or tags or whatever. Yeah. And you know what? Seth is that guy that can put the battle plan together. He is a very smart, he's a wrestler's wrestler. He thinks in terms of the big picture, the whole picture. How do I plug, myself in at the right times, and what do those guys on the other side, what do they bring to the table, and how to feature that? I mean, he is an architect. If he's going to sit down and put a match together, he's going to cover all the little things, which are the big things. And it's just like each one brought something different. Roman was the steamroller. Ambrose, you didn't know what to expect. He was going to just come out of nowhere with some excitement that you didn't see coming. And the one that was in there just regulating the flow of everything was Seth. So they had all the components in place. I loved watching those guys work with the Wyatts, because you had 3 guys on the other side that were completely different from all the Shield guys. And it was like 6 different psychologies and 6 different styles all in there mixing it up, and man, they would tear the joint down.
Really big time guys, as we know. I mean, going to be top of the cards for a long time. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.